So, welcome to Ujamaa Investment Club's open house. We just introduced our members, but I do want to go over this slide really quickly. So, we have present today the president, which is me, Dr. Jackie Thomas. We have Dr. Theo Fowles here as the Vice President of Education, Delvin Thompson as our secretary, April Fowles as our treasurer. We have Danisha O'Neill as social chair, Dr. Tatul Ntoya as a general member here today, but he's also the chair for our stock selection committee, so he still has jobs to do. And our other general members who are not going to be present today are Nelijah Bush, Joy Floro, and Yvette. So in terms of how we got started, this club got started for two reasons. So back in 2015, April and Theo started having these game nights at their house where we were playing this board game called Cash Flow. And the purpose of Cash Flow is it's kind of like Monopoly in the game of life, where you're trying to invest in stocks and businesses and real estate, and you're buying gold coins and things of that nature. And the point is to get out of the rat race, meaning to make enough passive income so that you can quit your job. And the game was a lot of fun. So we played it a lot. And then everyone kind of realized after a while that there was a way to do this like in real life, and we wanted to figure it out. And that's where Tatul came in. He played with us a few times and finally told us about an organization that he was a member of called BetterInvesting, which we'll talk about a little bit later. But after we did some research into BetterInvesting, we decided to start a club up under that organization, and we created Ujamaa Investment Club in February 2016. So in terms of who we are, again, we're a part of a nonprofit organization called BetterInvesting, which has been around since 1951, and they pride themselves on helping people learn how to invest. They talk about how putting small amounts of money away over a long period of time makes a big difference in people's lives, and they just want to help people learn how to invest no matter where they are, from beginning to pros who just want to refine their skills. So in terms of Ujamaa Investment Club, we strive to provide our members with a safe space to learn about money, to talk about money, to play the money game, and then to invest real money. And we believe that making money is good, but knowing what to do with money is better. So just know that Ujamaa means cooperative economics in Swahili. It's one of the principles of Kwanzaa, so that is why we selected that name. In terms of our club goals, we are wanting to grow and maintain a club membership of 12 partners. Right now, I think we're at about 9 partners. And we are hoping to have our portfolio, which you'll see in a moment later on in this meeting. We want our portfolio to go up to $5,000, and we're very close. But then after that, we're looking to double the profits from that $5,000 every 5 years that this club exists. The mission of BetterInvesting, we talked a little bit about that, so I will skip that for now.
So, what we do, we use BetterInvesting's method, which is teaching you how to identify a quality growth company and how to determine a fair price of when to buy, when to hold, and when to sell. And they do that by giving you a framework to be a disciplined investor. Again, the goal is to double your money every 5 years. And we also manage a portfolio as a group, but each of us as individual people within the club have our own personal portfolios, so folks can use what they learned in the club to manage their own portfolios either more aggressively or more conservatively than what the club as a collective is doing. What we don't do is we don't guarantee profits because investing in stock is a risk, so you can lose all your money that you put in. We also don't act as a bank, so the contributions that the club members put in, they don't withdraw immediately, so it's not a cash stock or an emergency fund. It's a long-term investment. And then we also don't manage your own personal portfolio.
All right, so we have member commitments. This is what we ask and expect of our members to commit to as being part of the club. The first is commit to learning. One of the major points of being part of an investment club is that you've got other individuals to help you learn and grow on how to invest. You've got resources to do better investing. There's webinars and workshops that we all can attend. And so for a new member joining the club, we're asking everyone to commit 4 hours of education per month for the first 3 months. And then at the third meeting, you'll be able to, or at least be able to present with some help on your first stock study. And that 4 hours is contributed to watching YouTube videos, Better Investing videos, to really get you a good understanding of the basics, the verbiage, the terminology that we use for investing. We ask that you attend the monthly meetings. We definitely prefer folks to attend in person, but we have the option to attend virtually when people are traveling or sick or not able to come in person. Ultimately, the members will be watching 1 to 3 companies. And by watching, that means once we've selected a stock and added it to a portfolio, we do quarterly reviews. So we look at it, see what's happening with that stock every quarter. And so one person, actually we have 2 people assigned to watch one stock so that we can continue to be informed of what's happening. And so as a member, you potentially will be watching 1 to 3 stocks, depending on how many stocks we currently have in our portfolio. The financial commitment is $100 initially to join. That is non-refundable. It's money that goes into the pot that we use for business expenses, business purposes. But also after that, the member will be contributing $25 as a minimum per month to go into the funds that we use to invest. We've got limits, and you can see that when you actually are operating agreement, you can actually contribute more than $25 per month, but the minimum is $25. We also ask that you maintain your own personal membership with BetterInvesting. It's a website where our stock selection guide software is contained. That's where the webinars are at. That's where all the training classes are at. And so it's something that's required to be able to operate within our club is to have your own membership so you have access to those resources. We also use technology for this club, and so we don't. We try and be as paperless as possible, but we use Slack as our digital platform. That's our online workspace, and so everything is uploaded to Slack. It's our communication system. It's like a social site for the club, and so we ask everyone to be a member of Slack and learn how to use that. All contributions are taken through PayPal, so no cash or checks, just everything through PayPal. So we ask new members to either open a PayPal account if they don't already have one, or do all the contributions to that. My iClub is a website that we use for our accounting software. All members have access to our tax records, to the current portfolio numbers. It's all in my iClub, so the new members will get access to that. And then the stock selection guide, I mentioned that a bit, that's on the Better Investing website, and so you need access to Better Investing for that. Once you go through the initial 3 months of watching the videos and getting the homework assignments from our VP, the 3rd month is when you submit your application. It's probably on the next page to join, basic information about contact info, and then at that meeting you'll have an interview with the partners. It requires 100% acceptance of current members to bring a new member in. And so the interview is just an opportunity for us to ask questions, to check to see if you watched the videos and kind of ask, it's like a little mini quiz. Did you actually do what you committed to do? But also just to understand your goals and what you want to do with the club. Okay, this is just a quick summary of what Jackie mentioned before. We've been established for 3 years now. We've currently have 9 partners, looking to grow to 12. We currently have 10 stocks in our portfolio, and you'll see that when we do the treasury report in a few minutes. And we are currently over $5,000 in our market value of the portfolio. Okay, so here is our valuation statement for the month of January 2019. We've got 10 stocks currently in our portfolio. Right now, about 89% of our portfolio, of our market value is in the portfolio. We've got $244.40 in our checking account, $373 currently available for investing in our folio brokerage account right now. Okay, and then you can kind of see the pie chart on how we're distributed. So currently our portfolio is at a 9.7% return. So here's our cost basis versus market value. So you kind of see, like, remember we got really close. Yeah, look at this number. But we're up. So basically you want the market value to be higher than the cost what you pay for your stock. So we're up. And you can kind of see the history on what we've done. When we first started, you're just starting. So we were kind of right on top of the line for each, and then we split apart and now it's coming back together. And a lot of that is just the market and, us, I think, getting better with our decisions on when to buy, what to buy, and when to sell, and what to sell.
What was the previous level of knowledge and experience before the starting of this group for each of you?
So I started with Better Investing, I think, back in 2011. My brother taught me to doing it, so I've been doing stock selection guides.
And he didn't tell us till since 2011, you was reaping benefits.
Right?
So I brought it to April, Theo, and Jackie. And
In 2015,
I think April and Theo, well, not April, probably had a little bit because we talked about stocks, and so I think April had a little bit more knowledge, just kind of basic things like, what to look for in a company, and just like the bare bones. But I think a lot of everyone else.
So I'd like to quote Jay-Z at this time. Zip zero.
Zip zero, stingy with dinero. Okay.
But real quick before our next question, like, that's where Better Investing comes in play and has been an excellent platform for us. Better Investing, when you go to the website, you can see more, but it's a nonprofit organization dedicated to investment education. So they've got the platform for how to start up investment clubs. And so they've got hundreds across the United States. So we weren't starting from scratch and starting the investment club. We pulled their template for operating agreement and pulled their templates. Jackie and I visited another club in Orange County to just sit in and see how they operate. We learned by watching their webinars. So they've got a 5-part series on how to do a stock selection guide, how to do act judgment. They've got tons of webinars, and that's our initial homework when we first started that year was, okay, watch webinar number 2, watch webinar number 3, come back together, the VP would talk about it, and we learned by watching those videos.
Okay.
It takes a new member attending our club meetings on a regular basis for about 3 months to get into the club. And what we're doing during that time with you is we are referring you to videos so that you can begin to understand just from the very beginning, like, what is the stock market? What are the terms that people use in the stock market?
Right.
Then move forward to how do we analyze a study as a group so that you can begin learning our process. Right. And we show you our operating agreement and our operating procedures so that you can be fully informed about what it is that you're getting into. So really, even if a person doesn't end up joining and they go through that entire process with us, or if they go through the process and the partners don't agree to allow them into the club, they have benefited so much before we've even taken a dime from them, because they will be able to leave with free trial membership to Better Investing and actual a group of people who are supporting them and learning how to use those principles, so that even if you do it as an individual, when you leave this process, you're able to start doubling your money every 5 years, whether you join this club or not. We're looking at the financial services sector. So we took 4 stocks between all of us and analyzed them, and we're going to discuss that, maybe purchase one, maybe put one on the watch list. And then after that, we just have announcements.
So when we met in December, Theo and I were on the stock selection committee, and we're trying to figure out what we would do what would be our focus for 2019. And we found that there were 3 sectors that we weren't in. So we figured that financial services would be our first sector we'll try, we'll look into.
Oh, sure.
So we also said that maybe what we'll do is we'll focus on an industry that we're not in, and then focus on an industry that we're in. That way we can always keep an eye on certain companies that are in the industry, make sure we have the best stock in that industry. And then we'll also have new industries and new stocks to study.
Let's go through this list and see which stocks we're going to talk about, though. So we're going to bring up all three. Or actually, I'm actually going to bring up Visa. So let's go ahead and change these peers real quick. So we have MasterCard. There's PayPal there. Synchrony Bank, interesting. CACC, correct?
Yes.
All right. So let's start with, let's go ahead and start with Visa.
Wait, what's changed?
Visa, you want to do, so what's interesting about Visa, and I put this in my thing, that they're generating 36 billion transactions, and their sales numbers were consistent over the last 10 years, like consistent, like 13% every year.
So they are large.
They're large, and that's pretty impressive for a company that size to have that much consistency for the past 10 years.
Yeah, that's good.
Their PE was a little bit high at 31. And Value Line was saying that they think they're going to continue with the transactions. They're going to continue generating money. They have $5.3 billion in revenue credits purchasing, and they have, I think, 4.1 million or billion for buyback purposes. They are sitting on cash. So that is Visa.
So if you look at this screen, you'll see the return on equity for all four of these companies. In general, we look for a 15% minimum, and MasterCard is real attractive right now. We talked about Visa, and Visa, at the end of the report, the total annualized earnings were 10%?
11.6%, so like 12.
That's not attractive.
So
Right, but for MasterCard, it's lower. Right, the annualized rate of return is 6.7.
Ooh.
So for credit acceptance, it's 18.1.
Yes. 18.1.
Yes.
So if we bought it at its current price, it's 18.1, right?
Yes.
But it's a whole.
Yeah, because see, it's borderline. So a little bit about credit acceptance, right? So, barely medium-sized company, 1.1 billion. So it just crossed the medium-sized threshold. So it's a smaller company, only focused on car loans, auto loans. So I know Visa and MasterCard are like general
Everything.
credit. This is just focusing on auto loans. And it's interesting when you read about it. It was talking about it's like a third party, so dealers can work with them to establish loans. So their clientele isn't necessarily people who have gotten loans traditionally through banks and stuff. So people who haven't qualified through there. So it's probably a lower credit score, higher risk, but more return, right? So generally they've gotten about 70% of their loans being paid every year. Looking at their data. So you saw the ROE was 30-something%. The one thing I was a little hesitant on was the debt. It was like 60-something%.
60-some%?
But if you look at all the other ones here, it's all high.
Visa's at 20%.
Yeah. Next one.
What is this? What?
That's Visa.
Oh.
Go to the next tab.
Oh, it's percent. Yeah.
Oh, that's Visa?
They're all high. They're all high.
Ooh.
Wait, go down. I
Click
saw
the arrow. Oh yeah. So credit acceptance is 68. MasterCard is 30. Visa actually is low at 13. Capital One was 53. But if you look at the industry average in peer group is 50s, 56, 80. It's high. It's like the big industries are high. It's high.
So here,
So it was kind of like,
industry
so for me, it was
average.
like, okay, it's higher than what I would like it to be, but it's kind of in ballpark with the industry.
But they're above industry average.
Yeah,
Well,
they are.
whatever.
This is industry average. This is them.
Yeah, but the other one was like peer group was like 80%. So anyway, overall, I think the numbers were I was okay with, especially with the ROE being 32, which was great. But even so all that was good. The The only thing when I was looking at it, I couldn't, you know how we were supposed to be looking for, okay, what can I do to continue to grow the business? More other countries. I didn't really find anything like that besides it's just going to keep doing what it's already doing. I want to keep looking into it a little bit further. I don't know if PayPal or MasterCard or Visa, what they're doing to expand their business. The one thing I thought was interesting when I was doing research, there was a lot of press releases about CACC voted best employee or best place to work for women, best place to work for diversity. It had like a ton. I was like, wow. Name one of the best places for diversity in December 2018. Best place to work for women. I'm like, okay, so best place. I saw something about best place for my millennials, and I know. I don't remember if it was just a regional competition or I need to dig into who's naming them, but they got a lot of recognition for being a good place to work, which I think I appreciate because happy employees are a good thing for a company. I think it should go on the watch list because I think it probably can drop a little bit more because average PE is 11.8 and the current PE is 13.3, which is still great below 30.
PE is 11? Or 13?
Current PE is 13,
wow.
Which is super great, but the average is 11. So that means like there's still potential for the cost to come down to the average. So I feel like it's probably a good price to buy, maybe, but it probably can come down even lower. So it's a high price stock, but it's not expensive with the PE of 13. See, it's like right on the borderline.
So CACC could potentially be on the watch list. Let's pick the best one of these three to put on the watch list.
MasterCard, but according to Value Line, they rate MasterCard with a persistence rating of 100, which is, and persistence rating is a measurement of the historic tendency of a stock to show persistent price growth compared to the average stock. In terms of the buy, sell, hold, I got it as a hold, and that was in line with the Morningstar analysis because their fair value was 165, and I think the current price is like 202.
Oh. Okay.
So they said the fair value is 165 with a purchase of 115, and they were saying that you should sell somewhere around this point. The 220 something around in there. So I don't know if they're expecting like another opportunity to get a lower price or what have you. But I had it in the middle of the hold range. But all the other analysts, like on like Yahoo and like NASDAQ, they all mark it as a really good buy.
Because yours, I like the social responsibility of yours.
I do too.
But I just don't know because Visa is like so consistent. I think.
So I mean, can we put both?
I feel comfortable. I do feel comfortable with 2. I don't feel comfortable with 3. I feel like if we have to pick 3, then we haven't made a decision at all. Anything else about these stocks?
No.
Cool. So we're gonna put those other 2 on the watch list. We're not gonna vote about that unless somebody feels unready. Next on our agenda, we have announcements. So at some point, we do want to learn how to read a balance sheet as a club. So we are hoping that Theo can help us with that in education. The December planning meeting, just for those that did not attend, went well. I worked on the audit, and as we discussed earlier, that is going to be done fairly soon. Agreement revisions, where are we with that?
So, okay, Nikki and I went through the partnership, the operating procedures. So we've got recommendations for that. We didn't get a chance to finish the partnership agreement, so I need to get with her so we can finalize. We're doing that and present it ideally at the next meeting.
Okay. So we might need time for that in the board meeting. Can you put that in the notes, please, Delvin? That in the executive board meeting, we need to talk about operating agreements so that we can have a proposal ready for the club.
Yeah, because we still need to, I want to get that done because we didn't actually sign the other paragraph that we had at the end of last year.
Okay. Cool. And then socials, we did not talk about at that meeting, but are upcoming. Selecting stocks.
Yeah, so I talked a little bit about it already, and so maybe today, real quick, we could talk about. Oh no, we have our portfolio coming up next, right?
Is that next in February?
In February,
Oh,
because
okay.
because this is earnings season, so earnings season is about to end. So we have a portfolio review at the next meeting, and maybe after that we can decide on whether we'll look into an industry that we're already in or we'll go to a new industry. So that's where we're at.
Okay.
All right, and then we did our holiday brunch at Roscoe's. Delvin, do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, Roscoe's was good. I think, yeah, it was okay. Tutua went, I went, I brought a friend, Theo went, Judith was there, Jackie.
That was awesome.
And extra leadership.
I feel like it was good because we all got to talk outside the club and get to know each other more. Got some good food.
Black owned spot.
In the corner.
Black owned spot. Yeah. So yeah, our goal is to have our brunches or social meetings at a black owned spot. This past year was at Roscoe's. We might possibly do Roscoe's again because it was good. Yeah, I think it was a good turnout. Good event.
Cool.
We got any other announcements? I got one.
Go for it.
So I mentioned this before the meeting actually started, but just in case you missed it, check out Better Investing updated the notes section of the SSG. So what's really cool about this is that within the SSG right now, you know how they have member settlement and you can see what numbers people picked. So now within your notes, they have 3 buttons. They have one that says like personal notes. They have another button that says community notes, and then one is like staff notes. So if you click on community notes or staff notes, you'll see what other people have written about the stock in their notes. So like if they put down like, I chose the projected, PE of this, they can say why or what their source was, and then that can be added to your judgment. So it's another layer of notes. It'll also be cool to click community notes for our meetings.
Yes.
So that way when we review the stock, you can just type in the stock name and your notes will be a part of that whole group for the discussion. So.
Okay, can you help remind us when we're studying stock to start doing that? That's awesome.
My overall impressions is that this was really helpful. I think I'll comment on a few things. I think that you all have a great synergy as a group. I think your relationships really enhance the process and the ease of which to kind of work through and talk through a lot of this stuff. So I think that that's a beautiful thing. It's clear to me that you all are very committed to not only the group growing, but you all are committed to your own individual and knowledge and development around financial awareness and education. I think that is really impressive. I love how organized you all are. I like how you're utilizing the online tools to streamline your processes, to hold each other accountable, but also to maintain accurate and really good records. And the educational piece, I think, is also just really, really sound. I'm looking at how you all are using Better Investing. I like how you're using what's already established there, and helping that to help you get to where you want to go. Finances has always been a thing, and I have a personal philosophy that, and I think I heard it mentioned in the presentation, that it's not always about how much you make, it's always about what you do with your money. I think that really matters. So I think that this investment club is an opportunity to delve deeper into that and get a strategy as to how to maximize our money.